Hey guys, what's up? It's Queenie here. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on this video. Today is a little bit different. We haven't done a Q&A in years. But obviously I prompted this on Instagram. We had an amazing conversation over there and I promised that I would continue the answers over here in a full video because this conversation needs way more time than a few story posts. I wanted to share a little bit about my birthing and pregnancy and postpartum experience. So I asked you guys if you had any questions on that so I could answer it and post it in a video. Obviously my experience is my experience and everyone's is different, but hopefully this will give you some insight if you were ever curious, or if you're in this time, if you're in this season or you want to be in the season, you know, maybe this will give you some answers to some things that you've been thinking about, and it'll help you kind of diversify the experiences in your mind. So I'm going to get straight into this because we have a lot of questions to get through and I want to answer as much as I possibly can. Some of them I already answered on Instagram, so I'm not going to go over them again. I answered the doubles on Instagram, so we'll briefly touch on everything in here too. Okay, first question. How do you make time for work-life balance and still keep your sanity? I don't. I'm losing my mind. Work-life balance, I feel like the more something has to give all the time, and I'm not going to be one of those women that say you can't have it all. That's not what I'm saying. You can have a lot of it. You can actually have more than you think, but something will have to give. And I think that my number for what I can have is like 2 or maybe 3. Like I feel like I can have family, I can have career, and I can have, you know, yeah, that's 2. Family including husband and kids. I can have family and career. Right now, because I'm focusing on that, my social life is struggling. My life in the gym is struggling. So I kind of have to make those sacrifices to keep my sanity. But even then, it's really hard and you do have to take care of yourself mentally. That's all I can say. I haven't figured it out. I do feel like I balance it out by, you know, allowing the scale to tip here and there. And that's it. I don't ever have enough of everything every single day. During the week, it's family and work, and then sometimes on the weekend, I see friends. I have, you know, time to work out or do like a little exercise, mental type of thing, but I don't have that every day, and it's not even. And then some weeks I will really socialize and I'll really hang out with my friends, and sometimes my work schedule is like out the window because I'm self-employed. Or sometimes I'll be so social and hang out with my friends all the time that I won't see my son and my husband as much as I usually would. So that's how I balance it. I allow the scales to tip whenever they need to and whenever I want to and whenever I feel like it should. And I try not to like beat myself up about it. And I just try to make sure I maintain focus on my main goal, which is having a healthy child, a healthy family, and an amazing career. I love my friends, but they also have their own life and they also have goals. So we get each other. We just do. But honestly, I don't keep my sanity majority of the time. You do it while crazy. That's just what you do. Have you transitioned to formula/solids, or are you still breastfeeding? I have been doing formula since the beginning and breastfeeding, but I stopped breastfeeding 2 months ago. So now we are just doing formula and solids. Self-care, is it still achievable? Depends what you mean by self-care. My self-care might be different than yours, but I mean, I shower every day. A lot of people say, oh my goodness, when you're a mom, you can't shower, you can't brush your teeth in the newborn stages. I showered and brushed my teeth every day. That's like, to me, bare minimum, okay? But self-care, I go for a massage. I don't go for massages often. I used to go more often. I still have a great skincare routine. I still get ready, do my makeup, and get dressed in the mornings. I prioritize those things. So it depends what self-care is to you. So I definitely think it is achievable if you really squeeze it in. Again, you have to sacrifice where you can. Sometimes I don't eat breakfast. I don't know. This sounds crazy. Do you have a social support system / community of other mamas? I actually do, and I didn't plan it this way, but my friends just ended up getting pregnant at the same time. So we all just have babies right now and we support each other, and obviously I have my sisters and I have, you know, family, but my friends also have babies right now, and God just allowed that to happen for us, for each other, and I'm so grateful. Do you feel like you have a consistent schedule with baby, or is it still unplanned? Yes, I do have a schedule now. I feel like by the time he turned 7 months, it was like, we are good. This is what we're doing. He was consistent. He was predictable, and I was able to like figure it out. Now he sleeps the same time every single day. He does not miss those things. When he does miss a nap, he doesn't lose his mind. It's still manageable. It's okay. We eat the same types of food that he likes. I mean, we switch it up sometimes, but he's so adjustable now, but he's also so predictable at the same time that we do have a really good schedule and I can work with it. Right now, we're in our 3-hour daytime afternoon nap period where I'm working, I'm filming, and he's sleeping. And we do this every single day. Would you do it again? What's your favorite thing about motherhood? Okay, so I got so many would you do it again questions. I would honestly, like, I'm looking forward to doing this maybe 3 more times. Okay, no, wait, what am I saying? 2 more times, 3 more times, absolute max if I'm like really comfortable. But I would do it again, and I really enjoyed birth and pregnancy, and it was how I would describe as euphoric. There's a small part when you're giving birth that feels like this is literally torture and this should never be allowed, like this should not be real. But that part passes. That part is actually the smallest part when you look at everything. When you look at, you know, carrying your child, the beginning stages where it's not so bad of labor, and then there's that torturous part, and then you give birth and you have your baby, and the satisfaction that comes afterwards beats whatever you thought was so bad. And that's why they say, oh, once you have a baby you forget. It's not that. I don't think I forgot. I just think you're able to see the full picture afterwards, and you realize, hey, what is this? And you realize afterwards, hey, that part that was so bad is so much smaller when you compare it to everything else. So I didn't forget. Oh, I remember. Like, I still shiver sometimes just thinking about it. But that part was so, not insignificant, but it was kind of small compared to the full picture of pregnancy and birth and then becoming a mother. That part was right before the baby was coming. It was like we were getting to the end. And it was very difficult, but I would do it again because it actually doesn't feel like that overtook my whole experience. That's for me. And just to touch on my birth a little bit, I won't say my full birth story in this video because that'll take way too long, but I did have a pretty fast labor and birth experience. I was contracting all day basically from 7 a.m. to midnight, but they didn't pick up till like maybe 2 p.m.-ish. And then from 2 p.m. to midnight, it was pretty steady, not the end of the world, terrible. I had a friend over, we were hanging out, we went for a walk, and that's when it picked up around 9 p.m. And that 9 p.m. walk was like, you know, a little bit of a struggle, and that's what really got things moving, and that got my water to break at 12 o'clock. And then once my water broke, it was insanity, and then he was born at 2 a.m. So that's like kind of a shortened version. And I say it very casually, but it's nothing about birth is casual or easy. But I think I just see it as such a great thing that I'm not like, I don't know, I want people to feel like this can be a positive experience. And it was for me, and I think it was great. So that's a little bit about my birth, light details about my birth experience. Okay, next question. What is the most precious... Oh, what was my favorite? I forgot to answer. Favorite thing about motherhood is, I think, just like being able to teach someone the good parts of you. Like, obviously, when you become a mother, everyone's goal is to, you know, to raise like a good human, and you're able to look within yourself and see the parts that are good and the parts that maybe aren't so good, and you really genuinely try to pass on all the good things, and you see it come to life in a little person, and you just pray that they hold on to that. So you're constantly trying to make this person just a better version of what you know a human to be, and it's so fun because you're all that they really learned from at this stage. Obviously when school and friends and all of that comes into play, it changes, but right now I'm really enjoying being able to teach him just good things, and just, you know, he's a fun, happy baby, and yeah, I'm really enjoying the childlikeness of life too. I get to play, I get to laugh, I get to be silly, and someone like fully appreciates it. It's so great. I'm naturally such a goofy person, so I have an outlet for that now, and somebody loves it, and he's gonna love it for a while. at least until he's like 10, you know, maybe a little longer. What is the most precious thing that you have learned? I have learned, and people ask me this question too, you actually don't need anything. You don't need to feel like you're ready to become a mom. You don't need to feel like you're now equipped, you have enough this, you have enough that. You actually don't need any of that. The baby that God is going to give to you to be the mother to is the person that you are supposed to be a mother to. They will be exactly your match in a weird way, that whatever you do to take care of them is exactly what they need and nothing else. Like, you don't need to have all this knowledge in your head and be prepared and ready. Like, of course you can set up your life in a way that you can give your kid a more comfortable situation, but you yourself, mentally, your heart, all of that, you know, be in a place where you are healed as much as you can. But when it comes to taking care of the actual kid and raising them, there's nothing you can really do to be ready. And you'll realize once you have your child that you just know what to do for that kid. Not for somebody else's kid, not for your nieces and nephews and friends' kids and all that. For your child that you have in front of you, you just know what to do. And I feel like that is the most precious thing that I have learned, because you don't have to get ready and feel perfect. The kid that you are going to have will be perfect for you, and you will be perfect for them, and it's just going to work that way. And obviously, again, and I'm not saying this in extremes of trauma and abuse, I'm talking without those things. And if you have to deal with recovering from trauma and abuse, work on that, because, you know, these little humans absorb a lot. But don't be too hard on yourself for not being perfect before having a child, you know? Just be aware of your issues, work on them, and again, like, you give the good parts. As a mother, you will always give them the good parts, as long as, again, not in those extreme cases. Do you feel like the healthcare professionals in the hospital or home setting were attentive? Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I gave birth at Mount Sinai in Toronto, and it was the best experience that I think I would have had in a hospital. I'm so happy with it. I will be doing that in the future. I loved the care that I got. I feel like they were very attentive, and they were just really great doctors. I felt taken care of. I felt safe. I felt listened to for the most part. My birth, again, was really fast, so there wasn't much advocating and talking happening. But when I did talk, they listened, because when I was giving birth, they wanted me to lay down to check my cervix. And I said, absolutely not. You will only be checking my cervix in between contractions when I'm not in agony. And then you have 1 minute to do it. And as soon as that 1 minute hits, I'm getting up. So they listened to that, because I was not having it. As soon as the contraction stopped, I laid down, they checked me, I got back up, and that was it. Like, I wasn't about to let them be all up in there while I was contracting. I was laying down. That is, I couldn't even sit. I couldn't even sit while contracting. Barely. But yeah, they were amazing. Did you and your partner navigate your lives changing after... How did you and your partner navigate your life changing after the birth of your son? How did we navigate it? It happens and you figure it out. You know what? Okay, so let's talk about relationships a little bit. He's like, hurry up. Let's talk about relationships a little bit. You know, they say... So, I remember a few months ago on TikTok, a lot of videos were talking about, like, you know, your relationship before having a baby and after, and, like, how much it changes and how much people miss their old relationship and how it's kind of really affecting them. I will give a positive response to that. I think for us, our relationship actually got so much stronger in a different way. I think we're both very, like, goal, task driven people. So because we had this thing to work on together, we just did a really good job. Like, we were able to say, okay, you do this, this is how this is going to get from point A to point B. Like, we work really well as a team. And that's something I recognized about our relationship before we even got married. We are a very good team. meaning we put in effort, you know? So our relationship actually got stronger because we became so in tune with teamwork and doing things together in that way. And that helped us emotionally too. But I will say teamwork isn't always the most romantic. It wasn't like, ooh, this is just like, I mean, yeah, some women say, oh, when they see their man doing this and that really like gets them. Like, yes, I was feeling so grateful and loving towards him, but it wasn't necessarily, like raising a child hasn't been like a romantic experience. It's filled my heart to a point where it's like, oh my goodness, I could not imagine my life without him. Cause, oh, I don't know what I would do. But, yeah, it hasn't like, okay, how do I say this? When you don't have a child, when we didn't have a child, our romance was more about us and each other and what we gave each other. Whereas now the romance is more about him as a whole without me and him as a father. So with that being said, how have we navigated it? We have tried to incorporate more planned date nights. We tried to be more intentional about spending time with each other after baby goes to bed. We have tried to be more intentional about doing family activities and creating traditions and getting more photos together. How else have we navigated it? I think something we need to work on is, again, that like personal romance that we have between each other that doesn't include our child, or seeing each other as such a great mom or such a great dad that sparks that little like, you know, inside of you. It's like, where did we connect today that makes me feel like that? So I don't know how we navigated it. I think we just started off naturally as really good teammates and we work well together and we adjust from there. I'm a really like talky type of person, so I like to communicate how I feel often, and if I feel like something could be better, I say, hey, this is what I want, this is what I need, can we work on this together? And I feel like Haley's usually pretty responsive. And yeah, it takes teamwork. That's the most that I can say. We talk about it because our life has changed for sure, and we have to accommodate each other. That's it. How was your son's journey of rest? Was he sleep trained? Nope. Yeah, we just went with the flow with that. I tried to do the sleep training thing and it didn't happen, and eventually he just started sleeping more consistently, and like he wasn't ever a terrible sleeper. He still wakes up at night right now, and that's something we need to cut out. He still wakes up, yeah, once, but it needs to go now. But he was not sleep trained, but it seems like as he's getting older, he's finding his own groove and he's sleeping how he wants to sleep, and it's not too much of a bother. And I think that's mainly because he's formula fed. So I'm not getting up and picking him up and breastfeeding and falling asleep and like all of that. We just give him his milk and he goes back to bed really fast. So yeah. Can you walk us through the story of your birth? I will not do that in this video, but I will do that in the next, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be, it's interesting. How was your birth? How was your journey through breastfeeding? It started off so rocky. So the first month, my nipples were falling apart. Like I had to get medicated cream because it was unbearable. It was unbearable. But now when I look back and I look at the dates, it was only a month. It felt like forever. It felt like months. But after that, it was fine. But I was also doing formula as well at nighttime because I could not do the nighttime breastfeeding. I was falling over, falling asleep. I couldn't do it. And I didn't even try. I said, give him the bottle so I can go back to bed. And that also helped because then KB could do a night feed. Sometimes I would pump and then give him that to feed him. But point is, at nighttime, he was doing some bottle with something in it. Whether it was formula or breast milk, I don't care what was in it. Give him a bottle because I'm not getting up. So KB would help with the nighttime. And that helped me, you know, stay rejuvenated and cute during those stages. And yeah, that's my breastfeeding journey. That was the struggle, and it lasted 8 months. No, not the struggle part. The nipple part lasted a month, but breastfeeding for me was 8 months. And yeah, but it was combo fed, so it wasn't too much pressure for me. But I think next time, I think I might do the same. I think I would start with formula at night. I liked the balance of having both. There was no pressure to breastfeed. There was no pressure to be here at a certain time. To, you know, it was always like, okay, well, if I'm not there, just give him formula and I'll pump later. I like the flexibility of that. Yeah, there was no pressure anywhere. Just kind of let him do whatever he took. If he took the milk and the formula, whatever he wanted, I would let him have that. There were seasons where he wanted more breast milk and he only wanted like me physically, and that's what I would do. And then there were times where he wanted his bottle with a big full thing of milk and he would get that. So whatever he wanted to eat, it was there, and that's kind of just how I went with it. He kind of decided, and when he decided he was done, he decided he was done, and I was done. Has the birth of your son strengthened other aspects of your life? How and why? Oh my gosh, yes. My confidence is on another level. I feel like I can do anything. The simple act of giving birth makes you feel like you are invincible and that you are the most powerful. There is a lot of things in life that can make you feel that way. I'm not saying this is the only one, but for me, this has been the biggest one. And this has been the one thing that has really shown me that I am so strong, so powerful, and so like, I can do anything. There have been moments in my life that I have felt this way. Any challenge that you overcome or that you know, get through on top, you feel that afterwards. And birth just happens to be one of them. So yeah, having him has made me feel like nothing scares me. No person, no thing, no challenge. I move through life expecting the most, expecting the best, because that's just what I feel like I deserve, because I am that worthy. I don't know, my confidence is just on another level. There's nothing phases me. Nothing. I'm not scared of anything. Nothing. Literally no one. So, with that being said, I think that will bring more success into my life. What are your fears regarding being a mother of a son? Answer at your own emotional capacity. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. I could think of so much, but I actually don't even want to get into that, because we also only have so much control as humans, and I just hope to instill God, prayer over him in our lives, that, you know, we don't think about the tragic things about raising a black boy in this world, but they're real, and whatever you're thinking, I'm thinking too. Trust me, whatever you have even thought about, I've already thought about it. There's a lot of things that I can worry about and think about, but honestly, I'm more excited about the good things and the exciting parts. So, but what you're thinking and what you think is scary and like, oh my goodness, keeps you up. Yeah, I'm thinking about that too. So, do we even need to say it? Nah. How has your marriage strengthened throughout or after the birth of your son? We already kind of touched on this, but I'll go into it more, because I said throughout. During pregnancy, I don't think it really did much for our relationship. Our relationship didn't strengthen. I wouldn't say through pregnancy. I don't think it changed much. I feel like if anything, my pregnancy hormones not detached me, but like, I wasn't like, ooh, like we, like this baby, us, like I wasn't more in love and like overjoyed or anything through pregnancy, and I don't think Haley was either. It was pretty neutral, and if anything, it was more, actually no, like I had a pretty stress-free pregnancy. Like it didn't cause any more fighting or like arguments or anything like that, but it didn't like make that like we're like just living in bliss type of vibe either. It was pretty normal, pretty basic, and then sometimes it was a little bit more chaotic because pregnancy hormones, and my emotions were everywhere. So I wouldn't say things strengthened in pregnancy, but once he was born, it definitely did. Like it was like, this is real. There was less anxiety because the baby is out. It's like, I think throughout pregnancy, there was so much anxiety that we didn't notice when it came to giving birth, and just overall like making sure that I'm okay and I'm getting through birth and having a baby that's healthy. There's so much anxiety that you don't really talk about, and I think that was kind of like looming over our heads. So once he was born, it was like, oh, like then we were able to relax into the bliss and the excitement and the lovey-dovey type of stuff, you know? And that's what really strengthened our relationship, because like I said before, we learned how to support each other as a team, and we're still getting there. We're still getting better. I think right now we need to focus more on, like, you know, the intentional dating and the emotional parts, and then we'll be better. But I feel like we're always kind of progressing and working at that, so I'm happy about it. How do you get baby to sleep at night? I don't have any tips. I am so sorry. I just wing it. I wung it. There is a book called 12 Hours Sleep that was recommended to me. I read half of it. It is really good. So that's all I can say. Did you experience postpartum depression? No, I did not. But I think now that I'm done breastfeeding and I'm no longer pregnant, and I feel the difference from being pregnant to breastfeeding to none of those things now, I realize like how different I felt before. So I did not have postpartum depression, but your hormones are definitely different while you are pregnant and while you are breastfeeding. So now that I'm not breastfeeding anymore, I feel like I'm becoming my regular self again. And that is another set of emotions because it's going with my period cycle. And it's just different. So yeah, no depression, but your hormones definitely still move and shift in a way that can really affect you. So just be aware of that. Sometimes it's not depression, but your hormones are real and they're powerful. I saw something on TikTok that talks about how your chances of getting postpartum depression is actually linked to how overwhelmed you feel. And I did not feel overwhelmed. I didn't get a chance to feel overwhelmed because I had so much support, that I think that's why my postpartum experience was so good. And I was happy and I was comfortable. I was taken care of. There was no overwhelmed feeling because I had support. It really takes a village, but it doesn't take as many people as you might think. You might think, oh, I only have 2 people. It makes a huge difference. 2 versus 1, 3 versus 1 makes a huge difference. And even if you only have 1 other person, it makes a huge difference. So my postpartum experience was really good, and I actually don't think there was much challenging about it except for my cracked nipples, and I'm very happy to say that. How does having a baby change the dynamic of your relationship with your husband? I'm gonna answer this. I try to answer them each in a different way because I know relationship things when it comes to post-baby are very, like, can be scary and intimidating, and you know, you just wonder. And so I think another thing I will add about that is I have had to become very vocal. Like I've always been a very vocal person about what I want and need, but I've had to do that even more. And I don't feel bad about it. I'm just happy to be with someone who responds well to it, because I will say exactly how I feel about things, and I will say what I need and what I would like to be done and how I feel about how things are happening. I say a lot of it, and now that we have a baby, I have to say more. And sometimes it's annoying to have to say more because you just want someone to know, but that's not real life. People can't read your mind. And so I've had to become even more comfortable with saying exactly what I want. And I don't feel bad about it because life is hard and we're all tired. I never think, oh, well, he just worked all day and came home. Yes, but we're all tired. Like everything, every day, everyone is always tired. And we're always going to have to do something while we're tired. And some days he might be more tired than me and I won't even bother him. Some days he'll see I'm even more tired than him. Whatever it is, just read the room. If someone asks you to do something, you do it. If they don't, whatever. Like, we just try to figure it out. So we've had to just speak out. Hey, yeah, no, I don't want to do this. Can you do this? Hey, can you help me do this? Hey, can you do this instead? Like, we just talk about it. We try to have each other's back and be like, nothing's ever fair, but we try to like balance each other out because no one has it easy, and I don't care how you go about it. Oh, men do this, women do that. No one has it easy. I don't believe that one is harder than the other, especially when you're actually both taking care of your home and your child. It's hard for everyone and we're all exhausted. So our dynamic has changed in a way that we have to be so intentional about speaking and asking and being open, or else things will explode, literally explode. And then you have to backtrack and like fix it all. So, and obviously time. I'm with the baby a lot more. We have less time together. But it's also been a nice like thing that has broken up our relationship in a nice way. Whereas Like we got married and then COVID hit, and we've been spending every second of the past 3 years together, and having something different now is kind of fun. Like I'm not with KB all the time now. I don't see him every second of every day, and it's kind of fun to like miss someone a little bit, like have a little bit of space between us now. Like besides work and me cooking dinner and whatever, I'm doing something else that kind of breaks up our days and our lives. And that's also changed our dynamic. I think we kind of can miss each other more and crave each other's presence a bit more because we don't have as much like quiet time with each other. So it's like you don't take it for granted. So that has changed too. In a positive way, and that could also be in a negative way because we can get comfortable not even spending time together because we're just tired. Everybody wants to go to bed, everybody wants to do their own thing, everyone wants to be able to spend time with themselves, and you can get comfortable in that. I definitely do. I love those moments where the baby's in bed and I everything's done and I can go lay down and watch some TikToks by myself, and Kibi loves to do that too. Like he loves to just be by himself too, so we can both get too comfortable in that. But I would say that having a baby has made things has made things positive for us. And this is not to say, ooh, have a kid with him, it's going to make everything better. It's not. It's going to make it worse. It's going to make the issues worse. It'll make them more prominent, and then you have to just be more intentional about fixing it. But anyways, we're talking about healthy situations, I guess. Yes, it's true, when you get married, whatever issues you have, I think come out more. Then when you have a baby, they intensify or come out more. But I think as you go on, you learn to, if you're working at it, communicate and talk about these things a bit more so that you can get better. So yes, things come out more, but you realize, hey, this is the thing that doesn't work for us. Can we work on that? Can we reel it back? You know what I mean? So yeah, don't have a baby with someone thinking it's gonna fix stuff if you guys can't even fix it without. That's the problem. You have to be willing to change and to fix things both ways. Sometimes women, we're wrong too. We need to fix stuff too. How did you feel when you first found out you were going to have a baby? Were you scared? No, this was very, very planned. Like, if it was negative, I would have been like, it was even intentional that I made sure to miss getting pregnant where I would have a baby, like, near my birthday, because I want my own birthday month, and he could have his own birthday month, and that worked. So we thank God for that. We thank God for blessing us and giving us the permission to plan it and letting it work out. Yeah, okay, so I guess that is all the questions, basically. I did answer some of them on Instagram, too, but for the most part, this has been my experience. Everything has been positive and good. Not necessarily easy, but it's been the best thing I have ever experienced in my life. It's such a personal experience for everyone, but I'm very grateful that I have a support system and that I have my husband and family and friends, because that has made the biggest difference for me. And my baby, just God knows what he's doing. He matched him with me and I matched with him, and we just vibe and we work well together. So we have a good team going here, and I'm just so grateful. But again, it takes a lot of being intentional, communicating, and working really, really hard together. And overall, birth, pregnancy, and having a child and being a mother takes intention. Everything you do takes intention. You decide and you go for it, and that's the plan, and that's what you stick to. And you don't just let things, you know, fall by the wayside. Is that the saying? I don't know. But yeah, it's been good, and I will do it again over and over and over. I hope this was a positive Q&A that encouraged you if this is a season you're in or wanting to go into, but you're anxious or hesitant. Girl, you got this. You got this. And just remember about your end goal and keep your intentions in mind every day, but always work towards the end goal, no matter what it is. Short term and long term. Always towards the goals. So no matter what you do, it's like it reaches there all the time. That's all I have to say. I can talk on and on and on about like new motherhood life and entrepreneurship and being a mom and chasing your dreams and also being a mom and being a wife. Like, there's so many things that I've discovered that I feel like I'm making it work. Like, I'm really doing that, you know? And I'm like, how am I doing this? This is what I dreamed for. You can have maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. And sometimes at the same time, not at the exact same time, but like, you can make it work in your life. We have enough hours in the day to make it work. Most of it, some of it. You get what I'm saying. But I hope this was encouraging, and I hope that this gave you a little bit of snippet into motherhood. In my experience, I gave birth at 27, I married, and I have one baby boy, and this has been my life and my birth experience and all of that. So thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, comment down below. If you like this video, let me know, and let me know if you want to see any others. I will post my birth video next. Bye.